We are now projecting that the next president of the United States is Donald Trump.
Na abusuya na yonko US na enoko United States of America kuro no ani jaba be PM ni nyina no USA abato afiti enra November bosumia etosu du ba ko ni da etosu enum ana US abato no ehya ase na nipa bebre na AC akan ewo presidential race ewo US abato nim na abato no so de woko US mountain so a abato no ejina nipa mienu so eye mampani abedi akira ye friend Kamala Harris onu etu franka ede ama the Democrats amanyuku no ana eye mampani friend Donald Trump onu so etu franka de ama the Republicans amanyuku na busuya power ni kohwe selam di kan fiti anura na batoɔ no ehya ase na before kora na ye ba beto aba no afanu mienu Kamala Harris ene Donald Trump atom ho papa de ama US country na enya asem keto bia kyerɛ sɛ yɛnhwɛ adwuma wa baba ye ne yɛfanto ne so aba abusuya abatoɔ ne ba na wie ya ne sa ene uko US abatoɔ no mu a ya project sɛ mampanin dada ye frɛ no Donald Trumps ɔno ana ehura di kan abusuya sɛ ne da screen so no sa ba abatoɔ no ba na wie ya ne sanso no sɛ ne anema ekɔ ne die Donald Trump ne abo ne din sɛ ɔno ana awi ni US abatoɔ no a abusuya adane anigesem de abrɛ oman US na wohwɛ sɛ ne abatoɔ no ekɔ ye na maame Kamala Harris ono etu franka ede ama the Democrats awi ni 223 states ewo US ho a ohwe se ne abatoɔ no ekɔ ewo 223 states ni mu a 66,565,331 abatoɔ na chese maame awi ni ahwe the percentage na 47.4% ana ye maame awi ni ewo mu a ohwe ye papa nso a ye friend Donald Trump ono ye mampani dada ede ema US na ono so awi ni 279 states a ohwe abatoɔ ni mu a ono so enya 71 million 606,456 votes no ohwe percentage ni mu a 51.0% apapai ana ehuri edikan ase ne da screen so na busuya adaji ni poso kura wo US abato na yempo so wa hawa hu ne enkotie amanebo ni bi emfiri other channels ni ho bi emra.
We see news projecting that Wisconsin was won by Donald Trump, and therefore, as you see on your screen, we are now projecting that the next president of the United States is Donald Trump.
Yeah, Doreen, the news that we have been waiting for has finally come. One of those crucial swing states, the state of Wisconsin, we now understand, has been called for Donald Trump, with its 10 electoral votes going directly to Donald Trump. It had been hotly contested. It would have been presumed that would have been Kamala Harris's route to the White House. It clearly wasn't to be, particularly after the likes of Pennsylvania, with its 19 electoral college votes, went Trump's way a little bit earlier on. It means that there is now zero chance for Kamala Harris to claim the presidency. It is Donald Trump's night. This is the breakdown in Wisconsin. 50% to Donald Trump, 49% to Kamala Harris. Very similar to previous election results in that state, where the results had been within a 1% margin or so. And of course, it has now been called for Donald Trump. All he needed prior to this was 3 electoral college votes. He, of course, has Alaska still to go. That has been a red state since 1968. So expect that figure to exceed quite significantly the 270 electoral college votes needed to take the presidency. This is the picture nationwide. The blue states fringing the United States. New Mexico, Colorado, that little strip of blue there. But then look at this sea of red with that crucial state, Wisconsin, now going to Donald Trump with its 10 electoral college votes going to him also. No doubt the Republicans will be toasting what has been a pretty clear win for them.
Abusiana de yakoso ewo US ne mpotemu a na America say de ye papa Donald Trump so no ye mampani dada ono ne aboni din say onsan MFA US amamuo no na omu no fa dwobere emra kuro na eno baga na mu a amanyɔkuo no bebre na akasa ɛwɔ ɛyɛ US abatoɔ no ho na yɛ papa ɛyɛ John Dramani Mahama ɔno ɛyɛ mampanin dada ɔsan yɛ frankatuni ɛde ma ɛyɛ NDC amanyɔkuo no hedwobodo chi amanyɔkuo no abɛkasa ɛde congratulation de ama ɛyɛ yɛ papa Donald Trumps ɛkyerɛ ne sɛ papa yi wabɔ no ho modern papa ɛwɔ US amanyɔsen mu enti ɛnɛ si ato ne so aba bioma ɛne ɔmanitiri nkwa ɔnsan ɛmfa ɛyɛ peace security ɛne economic growth ɛmra ɛyɛ US ne ama atwa ne ho ahyia ne nyina na bibia ɛnso enwie pɛyɛ a ɛyɛ yɛ papa John Dramani Mahama ensɛm ne bi ɛno no na ɛno mu biem ana New Patriotic Party NPP ɛnso aba bɛkasa ɛde etiri nkwa ɛnsɛm ɛde ama Donald Trump so ɔmo ma ne etiri nkwa papa sɛ papa yi bibia mu na bɛm na watumi enye gidie ɛwɔ US fuo mu na yasan ato ne so aba enti ebi ɛnsan kɔmbra biem a ɛyɛ New Patriotic Party ɛkyerɛ mu sɛ abato a yɛba beto wɔ Ghana yɛbɛhwɛ sɛ ne yɛkɔ no so ato aba no ɛde ama ɛyɛ Dr. Mahama Bawumia na adwebere nso aba ɛyɛ New Patriotic Party nso ɛde congratulation ɛde ama ɛyɛ yɛ papa Donald Trump asemi enso abɛyɛ nije sempa de ama papa yi na abusua kɔ US ne amdi kankan ɛne adagye ni puso kura na papa yi abato a yato ne so abayi ɛno nam so ne advisor enso ababe kasa ɛwɔ ho a sei na papa yi ɛka ɛde afa Donald Trump ɛho.
So President Trump was in very good spirits last night, obviously, after winning not just the presidency, but in a manner that was such an overwhelming landslide, winning the popular vote. He's on track to get 312 electoral votes. And for those scoring at home, that's even bigger than what he was able to do in 2016.
So what does happen on day one? I mean, he talked about mass deportations, for example. He's talked about just again last night saying, okay, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you know, you have our healthcare apparatus, do what you want. Is that the kind of thing that we're going to see right away, those tariffs, for example?
So one of the things that a lot of folks know is that with executive orders and things you can do with the presidency, some things you can put back in place. So think about it for a moment. All of the secure border policies that we had in place with President Trump, he can simply flip the switch and put those back into place just like they were before. They didn't need an act of Congress to break the border in the first place. When we think about energy exploration, how we get back to drilling, which ultimately then will bring down prices, bring down inflation, he can do that on his own. Other things, of course, will take legislative action and things of that nature. But
the former President-elect Trump talked about healing and turning that page. What do you think that looks like for him?
Well, number one, you take a look at what that coalition was that delivered President Trump the win. I thought a stunning statistic, and this actually came from the NBC News exit surveys, was the fact that President Trump earned the votes of 1 out of every 3 voter of color in the United States.
Republican Donald Trump has won the 2024 presidential election, becoming the first convicted felon elected to the nation's highest office. He is also the first former president since Grover Cleveland to return to the White House after being voted out of the job. The 78-year-old is the oldest person in U.S. history to be elected president, and his victory caps one of the longest general election campaigns ever, which included 2 assassination attempts. Here's what Trump has said he would do in his second term.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
A central campaign promise was deporting millions of migrants, which would likely trigger legal challenges. He has said he will employ the National Guard and, if necessary, federal troops as part of the effort.
If I run this country, if I'm going to be president of this country, I'm going to put a 100, 200, 2,000% tariff.
Trump has floated the idea of tariffs on all goods imported into the U.S., targeting China in particular. Critics say that would lead to higher prices for American consumers and global economic instability.
No tax on tips.
Trump has promised a blizzard of tax proposals and said he wants to extend the Trump tax cuts that he signed in 2017. But several prominent budget forecasters have estimated Trump's tax cut plans would add as much as $6.6 trillion to federal deficits over a decade.
We're going to drill, baby, drill.
Trump has vowed to increase U.S. production of fossil fuels and said he will reauthorize oil drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska. He also has said he will again pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accords.
And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly.
Trump, who has been critical of U.S. support for Ukraine in its war with Russia, said he could end the conflict in 24 hours if elected, although he has not said how he would do that. Trump has also said the war between Israel and Hamas should end quickly, but has offered no proposals for how to do that either.
Everybody wanted it back in the States, and I did that.
Trump has said bans on abortion should be up to states, and if they choose, could monitor women's pregnancies and prosecute them if they undergo the procedure after the period permitted. He appointed 3 justices to the U.S. Supreme Court who were part of the conservative majority that overturned Roe v. Wade protections, and would likely continue to appoint federal judges who would uphold limits on abortion.
We have an enemy from within.
Trump has said he could use federal law enforcement agencies to investigate political opponents and has threatened to make firing federal workers easier with an executive order. He has said he would fire special counsel Jack Smith, the federal prosecutor leading the criminal probes into his alleged mishandling of classified documents and his attempts to overturn his 2020 election defeat. He has also said he will consider pardoning all of those who have been convicted of crimes in connection with the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
Trump became the first former U.S. president to be convicted of a crime in May after a New York jury found him guilty of falsifying business records to cover up a payment to silence a porn star during his 2016 campaign.
Awusia na de ekoso eno no amosonfo da kwasi prince na ye de ni edi US abato no achi a ena America say de Donald Trump yaboni din se ono na embedi eye US man nanim na onsan enfam nko bosha asase bi so fa nyuma ene bibia mewie enfama emabuna etwa US ho ahia ya dete ho kakra ede aberewo ebekoso de ni edi nsem na chi na entia ne amadbo chirimu se ene ebo eye nondu a bebo US 6 ye maame eye Kamala Harris ono ye vice president ma US no ebebe kasa ni nyina no ye de exclusive no ede beberewa mesro so ba no subscribe na gusu ya na tumi akoso ye kese na before mekra mo ami akono mekanfo Caristic Company Limited in real friend is Amisha ana zaje capsule so the amount say ebe infection bacteria si bia beji ni pedua na kente so na akwaji mpanifundro ibi infertility or prostate problems ya boni awon wi bigu animu ase kwaji mpanifundro ibi na omuhindi heba mesha no ba malaria fever typhoid diabetes blood pressure na ya de type sora wedru ene hindi heba mesha ya do ma metumi ambobo ntumi mboso bi akwaji mpanifundro ibi na wo ye be mafo aso fe me se omo zaman capsule so no memedu tatahwe be sisi ya de sexual weakness be ma wo de boni tim kija na ho ni egu fom odo yere ko mutwi wa kanche ma girlfriend ekompemu anasisi e hwansa ni egu fom low sperm count ya de abija so a wadru ene zaman capsules na edru yefdi ahwem age atum se eye obandu atu akofomasi herbal stores bi ebenwa onsa ebe campaign fundro ibi doctor ahomatrofo na egu screen as fa frɛ no ne monkomo ye frem dan kwesi prince nyame eya domada se ne ibedi ehyiemu makrawo.